Hey guys, here we are at Noosa Hinterland Brewing Co. I'm Adsy from Aussie Beer Voyage, and we're going to go in, we're going to drink some beers, we're going to meet John, have a bit of a chat and have some more beers. Mate, welcome and thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, mate.
I've already started drinking the stout.
Wow.
This is a great stout. We had a session before.
Yep.
Not a session, we're on it. I had a session beer.
Could be the start of one.
Yeah, it may be something that's going on. You got your NEPA.
I'm back on the session.
Oh, you're back on the session?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're back on the session. Yeah, we're going right. This is great.
Thanks, mate.
Especially it's winter here at the moment. Yeah, this will still be winter when we post this up for sure. But man, this is fantastic.
Thanks, mate.
Stout on nitro.
Yeah.
It's let's get some background on the brewery. So where is this place?
We are Cooran. We're in the Noosa Hinterland. We always say that's where we are and it's who we are. So. Little village about 6 kilometres from Pomona, which in turn about 10 k's from Karoi, then up the road from Yamundi, inland from Noosa, down the road from Gympie. So we're sort of in the middle of that whole beautiful rolling hills out the back of Noosa.
Yeah, the old school community places.
Still a few little villages dotted through this way, and the source of a great food trail out Imbil, Kenilworth, Kandanga sort of area, back in obviously the beaches in Noosa and all the little villages through our area too. So.
Yeah. Now let's go back a bit. We first met at Ipswich Brewers Union.
We did. We sure did.
The Home Brewers Club out there.
Yeah.
We were talking before.
Yep.
We learned a lot.
From
the Home Brewer Club, didn't we?
Yeah, because I had, I've done a course when we were deliberately looking at what we're going to do after. I'm a mining engineer, so like what I was going to do when I wanted to finish mining.
Is there anyone in mining that doesn't open breweries?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, engineers, IT guys. Yeah. And so we had a plan. When I turned 50, wanted to get out of it, and so we'd started doing a bit of prep work and stuff.
Yep. So you started early before you turned 50.
Yeah. Before I got there, yeah. And then so I started obviously grain brewing that stage. I've been doing kit and kilo stuff and the work kits and that. Started grain brewing, did a couple of courses and met Craig, the president for the IBU, at one of those courses, and then I had to make a decision which brew club I was going to go to, and the fact that I could go straight out the Western Freeway, no traffic lights, took me to Ippy. So, and the guys there are like, there's some awesome brewers, and I learned a lot of stuff from a lot of guys, and I do reckon
it's great, isn't it? Because you get every home brewer brings in their beers. You get to drink them and taste them, so you're tasting styles. That you wouldn't normally taste or get to brew on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. Different guys with different preferences that would bring in something that you hadn't even thought of brewing before. Like remember, like Roger's Roggen beer.
Oh, mate,
that's fantastic.
Such a good beer.
And then I forget who it was, but with his Jacaranda Saison and just stuff like that. Like, I had pretty
Liam.
Liam. So I had pretty traditional tastes, I guess, between English and UK style traditions. And then to get that extra exposure into those other styles was just actually pretty cool.
And too, because we do like the judging, obviously. You get to taste those beers, and then it's not just tasting them and going, oh yeah, it's that. You've got a full sheet with faults and you get feedback. And there's nothing worse than you getting feedback. Oh, it's not there, and then you taste your beer and it is there.
And I reckon it did take my fault identification to the next level too. Like so, some of those guys say, oh, it's oxidised, but how do you know? What do you taste? And you're right. Yeah, I can pick that. So
it's a very good step. A stepping stone for professional brewers if you're a home brewer to join that club and get that bit of energy and information.
I joined the Noosa Brew Club when we moved up here. So when we moved out of Brizzy, I joined the Noosa Brew Club. And I reckon those guys are probably sick of me. Oh, at Ippy we used to do this, and at Ippy we used to do that. We try this, we should try that. So,
your brew kit here.
Where'd
you get it?
Torella. So just down the road, North Arm, Yandina. Just at the time when we were starting to get pretty serious about looking around here for a venue and something that was going on, and it actually ended up being with this place. Torella were upgrading their kit, so they started on a 250 litre brew kit. They were keeping 14 taps going at that stage too, and I mean, it's a pretty busy place.
It's every time I've been there, it's been flat out.
It's chockers. They've got that green gold that I'd love to have. So anyway, they were upgrading to I think a 3,000 litre kit. That is what they're on now, and they were getting rid of that. So it just came up one day on Facebook Marketplace or the professional brewers side or something. And gave him a ring and he said, oh, I've got a bit of interest. I said, mate, I'm like literally 25 k's up the road. I'll be there now. And and obviously then you meet Brant, you meet Shane and the guys that were brewing there. So I think it was just mutual timing. Everything was perfect. So we took a bit of a punt. It sat in my garage for quite a while.
Yep.
And then
did that hurt? Coming out of your garage and seeing it, and you'd be like, "Oh man,
yeah, a little bit, a little bit." So I was still working then, and going backwards and forwards. And this is COVID time too.
Okay.
So we had
good time to open a brewery.
Who wouldn't do that? And then so we'd moved up. It's like a series of very typical stories that all jammed together to make our individual story, I reckon. So. We moved up out of Brizzy with the COVID, like every other COVID immigrant. I was still working backwards and forwards from Brizzy when it wasn't work from home. So yeah, you're right. Here's this big, beautiful stainless steel, full, like my garage is full of it. Can't use it yet. We don't know what we're going to use it for, but I'll just keep working backwards and forwards. And then there was a little brewery here before, Bonsai, Matt.
Okay, yep.
Fantastic brewer, awesome beers. Bit smaller scale, and he had a young family, and the COVID was knocking him around a bit, I think. But he got an opportunity to go to New South Wales, and it was our local, right? We'll come in here, and I was a home brewer, and he'd be very obliging of, try this, let's got this, it's got that, you can tweak this, try that. So really, and then we had a few nights talking through rubbish and go, I'd love to do this, blah, blah, blah. So when he got his opportunity to move to New South Wales, he said, are you guys interested in taking this over? I'm like, oh shit. Yes. It's a couple of years early, but yeah. So we sort of worked through it, and then that's, all of a sudden we had a reason for the stainless, but I was still working.
Yeah.
So at the Noosa Brew Club, a bloke called Jesse lives we're 5 minutes that way, he's 5 minutes that way.
Oh, nice.
It's perfect. Made awesome beer, and I knew he was trying to get into a professional role somewhere, and so gave him a call one day, said, hey, come in and have a look at this. I've got something to show you. So did the big reveal with the garage button, and he's like, oh, have a look at that. Said, what do you reckon about using this? Matt's trying to get out of down at Bonsai, and we think we're going to take over. What do you reckon? He's like, when can we start?
Yeah. So how long have you been here now?
So 2.5 years almost.
Yeah, right.
So or 2.25. So Valentine's Day 2021, we took over. So Matt closed the doors at the end of New Year's Eve 2020.
Yep.
And we had 2.5 months or 6 weeks basically change over, take his gear out, bring our gear in, work out all the licensing and stuff.
Did he take it with him? Or?
Yeah. So we bought some stuff off him and stuff as part of the business buy.
Yep.
But then most of the gear, he was just a bit smaller scale. So 6 weeks later, we opened the doors up and. It's been onwards and upwards. So through a couple of shutdowns and closures and COVID stuff. That's why I kept working, to be honest.
Just to make sure you can get through
just to make sure that what they say about most small businesses in the first year is if you get through the first year, you're on your way. But
And how big's the kit?
250 litres. So we try and keep the 9 taps going with 250. We brought an extra fermenter on, so the Torella kit came with 3 250 litre fermenters as well. Got another 600 litre fermenter on top of that. And that just probably keeps us in front, and it's all only over the bar. Hey, so over the bar and through the fridge.
Which is great.
That's
where you make more money.
The margins.
You don't want to be out there trying to compete with.
I've got no interest in doing that. You see some guys want to have a national brand and shelves and Dan Murphy's.
You don't want to take on your mates or Moffat or
no, that's not our part of the market. I mean, it doesn't mean that those guys are awesome. If I've ever got a question and talk to Matty or you go to the guy, we went down to a.
We're talking to Matty tomorrow.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
And we went down to a fault training session at your mates probably 3 months ago. The industry up here is awesome, mate. It sounds like a bit of a cliche when you're talking to people, and everyone's competing, right? You're trying to compete for a little bit of your market, but everyone's still got time for everyone else, and everyone
will help everyone. And chat to everyone. It's like it's a big industry, but it's super small because when you go to when we saw each other at the awards, constantly talking to people. Someone walks past, oh shoot,
hey mate,
What do you have you got a core range?
Yeah, so we've really only got 2 that stay the same. We've got the Pale Ale and the Cooran Crusher, we call it. So Pale, we try and do big malt, big body, big hops, and 5.2, 5.3, sometimes a bit higher. Small batch stuff's a little bit variable, hey. And that's our biggest seller. The most popular beer over, like most craft beers, like independent breweries are, like pale ale is why everyone got into it. I think Crusher's the other end of the spectrum. We got a lot of people on farms and stuff around, and a little bit more of that traditional Australian taste. So you get guys that go, oh, don't drink fucking craft beer or bloody craft beer. We'll try this, mate. Yeah,
mine, mate.
Okay. So we'll try this, mate. Look, this is our Cooran Crusher, like Australian style. They go, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I said, still a craft beer, mate. We make it here. We make it on site. It's our recipe. They're the two that stay the same. And then the taps stay the same. We just try and put the styles through them a little bit different. So lager tap, for example, goes anything from like a Helles, a Keller beer, a Pilsner, Vienna lager is actually surprises us a little bit when they come on. They're really popular. Just that bit maltier and bit, oh man, it's beautiful. But so all those different styles, we just try and have something rotates through it, and we need people to come to us as a bit of a driving adventure, I suppose. So I try and make sure that if they come back a second time, it's something a little bit different. And they just go on, they're on a little adventure.
Like, no, it's the same 8
it's
beers.
The same. Oh, yeah. So the lager will be different, but it'll be a different kind. And the dark beer goes between like a really dark brown ale through like a smoky porter into we've got a milk stout, a dry stout.
Come at the wrong time for a smoky porter.
Well, we might be able to sort that out. So that's what we try and do. So the styles will be similar. But there's only 2 real ones that don't really change.
Nice.
Which seems to work for us. And like the Crusher and the Pale are the 2 biggest sellers, which is why we locked them down anyway.
So when you're brewing, like, what are your aspirations for the brewery? Like, do you need more fermenters? Like, is the brewery itself supporting enough beer?
Everyone tells you when you're doing planning is that your fermentation's always your bottleneck, and it is, to be honest. I guess we've got a slightly different bottleneck when it comes to fermentation. Is that like it's a 90-year-old building with wooden structure and wooden floors. And one day I'm expecting to come in and the whole, every fermenter's punched through the floor, and the landlord's down there like the witch on bloody Dorothy of Oz or something. Like, we could use more fermentation space. Is there any? No, I don't think so. But I don't. I've touched on it before. I don't fancy chasing a national brand. I don't fancy chasing Dan Murphy shelves or trying to. Because it all comes down to marketing and labelling then. And the best...
but if you're getting people in here, like, filling this place every weekend, it would be drinking you dry. And you'll be like, shit.
That circle back to that sort of community focus, I guess. So if we can keep up over the bar here, that does us happy. And that's a business you can live off, I think. At our scale, though, we need owners' involvement. Like, it's Cara and I heavily involved in the business. It's not a business you can hand over to a manager or anything like that. So... But that's fine. That's what we were looking for. We wanted a lifestyle change.
That's exactly
So, I could make more money going back and doing mining engineering, but I don't want to.
That enjoyment isn't there, is it?
No, that's right. So, what we've got is what we see as our part of the market, and there's room for so many different business models in this industry. That I think if you find your place and you're happy with it,
stick with it.
And try and make that business better and improve it, and that's where we're trying to put our energy in. So we got a little business now that keeps us both off the streets, keeps us both employed. We enjoy it. It keeps, I think we've got up to about 10 or 12 employees. They're all local, so everyone lives within probably a 5K radius that works for us. More than half of our traffic is local. They keep coming back, and we get to know them and we get to meet them. And then we draw a bit of driving traffic out of Noosa or people on holidays and stuff, and try and get them to come out for an adventure. So
how much sort of history is in the building do you know of? Like,
so I've got,
because obviously
I've got a version.
There's some real cool photos up here. You got the sander down there that I was reading about, which is friggin' awesome. The saw in the thing, the friggin' bolt locks that look like you'll never get through that door.
So the district originally got opened up with Timbergetting, I think, and between Timbergetting and then the railway going through up to Gympie for the gold. So it was a stop on there. So back in the day, it's quite a sloping block. It's quite deceiving, but there was 3 levels actually.
Veranda, mate.
Yeah, well, no right angles in the whole place. So it used to be a sawmill down the bottom. Then in the middle level, back in the 40s, they were doing prefab house frames and roof trusses. So some of those are local, and the rest would go out on the train. And then this level was a joinery, so like doors and windows and stuff. And they started building it in about 1930, but it's one of those buildings that there's like, here's the original bit, and then there's another bit, and then there's another bit, and there's another bit. It'll all be local timber. It's all hardwood, local milled. like you try and put a nail or a screw in this stuff.
Oh, it'd be like cement.
Yeah, you're either talking the bloody, you can't, I can't, lightning, I can't hit it in the same place twice. So
yeah.
They just bend or the screws torque off, so it's pretty amazing stuff, eh?
Yeah.
So we just rent, and the landlord is just an amazing bloke with timber, so he's still got a joinery store downstairs.
Yeah, right.
Back in the 30s they started building it, and then it was a family business until they sold to Al, I think.
Yeah.
It's had a few iterations. It was a joinery, then it was a second-hand store.
Yep.
There was a guy who made drums in it apparently.
Yeah, right.
And then Matt set up the brewery, so he set up Bonsai here. And now it's us. So,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a big old log going through the middle of your bar. Mate, that's a super unique feature. What's the story with that?
Honestly, I don't know. I gather they must have been worried about the building blowing over from a certain direction or something. And the more worrying thing for me, not the fact that there's that one there, but there used to be 3, and there's 2 of them being chopped out. So we're down to the last one, and I reckon if the wind comes from the wrong direction, it might just like all just...
The middle of the bar is still standing, but everything else is wobbling around.
Sit there, So it's funny, you see like Cooran and Swee's one around the bar staff, they're both pretty short, and I'm taller obviously, so I'll look over it and they'll be like looking under it back up, and then the people on the other side don't know what they should do. They don't know if it should be down. Can I get there or should I go over?
I've been in hundreds of bars and I've never seen anything like that, and it's super cool. It literally just comes out of the bar.
And just built around it.
That's great. I freaking love it.
Might as well make it a focus.
Oh, mate. That's those cool, quirky, historical things, though, right? That build, as you were saying, it's that quirky character history that's here. And
it's nice to be able to use an old building, because if you don't use them, they just fall apart, right? Like, and I mean, it's still falling apart slowly, but we can keep it clean. We can keep the bugs and the pests and stuff out. We can just keep using it and replacing it slowly. But
what do you see? Where do you reckon you're going to be? Like, is it what's success for you? Like, when are you going to say, it's a success? Is it a money thing, or is it a feeling thing? Is it just a time thing? You're like, we've got through 5 years. Is it like what? When are you going to sit back and go, we fucking did it?
That's a good question, eh? That's a really good question. So we're both sort of not really wired to go, that's enough. Like, so I think probably the most important judge for me is that we keep getting people coming back into the local. So it's great having tourist business, and we need that. We rely on that, and we want to send those guys away happy as well. But I think that acceptance on that local front is actually really important to us, and that community feel. Like the place doesn't need, like the town doesn't need a 7-day-a-week late license drinking establishment. It just needs a focus for a community, and we've got a lot of those in town anyway. We've got the restaurant, the store, the cafes, and and then the brewery, I think, complements that, and that means that everyone in town's got somewhere they can find their people or meet if they need to. Or someone brought their parents in the other day. He's like a proper old school home brewer for the beer that he likes and all that, and doesn't understand paying for a craft beer or anything like that. But the local guys were happy to bring their parents in for their anniversary and show off what they've got in their town, and that was pretty cool. I enjoy stuff like that when we get that, not direct feedback, but they're happy to take a risk and say, we like this place. We hope you do too. So that's really that makes us happy. I think the other thing I'm really happy with the sit down is, I don't know, about 6 months ago, Cooran and I looked around and there was just all women in here. Like, there was a couple of people sitting on their own. There was a couple of people sitting in groups, but there was like no blokes in here. It was all women, and they feel relaxed enough to come to a brewery for a start, which is historically male dominated, stuff like that. The environment and the offering and the place we've built up, and I think Cara is a big part of that. They were comfortable enough to come here, and that was their meeting place to have a social interaction.
That's great.
I'm really happy with that.
That's awesome. So you're only open 4 days. So
we open Thursday to Sunday.
Days, so
open Thursday to Sunday. And I mean, it's a bit hard. You got the brew kit right behind the bar. Steam generator. So it's hot and there's high pressure and water everywhere. You can't. It's brewing. So Monday's usually keg cleaning, keg and fermenters, clean and fermenters. And then Tuesday, Wednesday's brew days. Then we open Thursday to Sunday. So
nice.
Try not to overlap, and we can if we have to, or if we get in the pinch. But it's just easier if we don't.
Yeah. I mean, because it is nice walking into breweries and getting that smell of malt. And going, but at the same time, if it's affecting the stuff behind the bar, and you got water and shit everywhere.
The other thing is we got one drain. That's and I mean, everyone always talks about it. I never understood today. But every time I go to a brewery now and you get drainage envy, like envy. Oh, man.
Mate, it's...
look at that strip drain.
All right, man. Well, that was awesome, mate. Thanks for your chat.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. And mate, thanks to John for giving us hospitality, giving us beers, and showing us around the place. It's not even cold today, which is good. It's really nice.
All year's dark beer weather, I reckon.
Yeah. So if you're ever up in Noosa, which a lot of people go to, if you're ever up anywhere near this way, if you're going through to Gympie, shoot in, come and say good day to John or Cara. They're going to be here because they run the place. So, And if you ever need someone to help you run it, I'm coming up here just to drink your beer, so I'm not going to help you run it, but I'll sit here and make the place look busy.
Cheers to that,
mate.